Leadership Habits for High-Performing Multi-Level Marketing Entrepreneurs. This is the 23rd episode of the series segment Strategic Business Reset. They say leaders are born. They are wrong. Leaders are built through habits forged in pressure, structure, and duplication. In the world of direct sales, most chase speed and lose structure. They recruit fast, burn faster, and wonder why their teams never replicate results. High-performing multi-level marketing entrepreneurs don't chase, they engineer. Welcome back to Your Path for a Better You, your special forces unit for breakthrough living, where we decode the DNA of excellence to help you dominate personal and professional growth. I am your host, Scarlett Marcel Bantideja, and today's mission, we will talk about leadership. Not the kind you post about, but the kind that actually scales. In multi-level marketing, everyone wants duplication, but few understand what that really means. Duplication isn't about repeating actions. It's about transmitting thinking patterns, mindset. So my dear friends, let's deploy. The mindset and structure I refer to go beyond motivation. They define how leaders think and operate. Mindset is the code behind every decision. Clarity of purpose, adaptability under pressure, and full ownership of results. Structure is the execution system that turns that mindset into measurable action. Routines, feedback loops, and precise duplication. When both align, you don't just repeat actions, you transmit strategic thinking. That's how true duplication and leadership are built. In Riemann, duplication does involve repeating actions consistently and with precision. But the key distinction is what makes that repetition work. Most people think duplication means doing the same thing over and over, repeating scripts, following checklists, and copying what the leaders does. That's not duplication, that's imitation. True duplication is precision with intelligence. Is transmitting the way of thinking behind the action. It's about understanding why something works so that you can reproduce it with your own brain, your own team, and your own strategy. When you teach that level of clarity, you are not just duplicating effort, you are multiplying leadership. This is why repetition works for some and fails for others. So thinking patterns are equal to internal system, discipline, clarity, intention behind each action. In one word, mindset. That's what makes the boundary reset experience Starlink relevant to Riemann planners and customers. It's about creating a rhythm people can follow even when you are not around. Most leaders in this industry move fast, and that's good. Speed is essential for ROI, return of investment, and financial health. But the speed without a structure eventually costs more than it earns. Many rely on constant repetition instead of clarity, trading precision for quick duplication. Their real power comes from building systems that scale speed, where every action is intentional, efficient, and easy to replicate without constant supervision. That's where mindset and structure transform activity into profit. One of the clearest examples of system-driven leadership in our industry is how Danny Bay builds. He never scales through charisma or speed alone. He scales through architecture. His operations are engineered for uniformity, clear actions, predictable flows, and a rhythm that anyone can follow. That's why his organizations grow across continents while others burn out locally. He doesn't depend on talent spikes or emotional hype. He depends on systems, systems that make success simple to repeat. That's the real benchmark for high performing multi level marketing leadership. Not shouting louder, but designing cleaner. Got it? And that's where habits come in. High performing multi level marketing entrepreneurs don't just work the business, they run operations. Small ones, yes, but built with the same precision you'd expect from a CEO. Their habits are what turn an idea into an organization. Here are the ones that change everything. Precision planning is the first. They don't wake up and see how the day goes. They know exactly what their next move is, one measurable objective at a time. No one builds an empire reacting to messages, right? They schedule by intention, not by interruption. This is where the Sterling mindset lives. You focus on the few actions that actually create momentum instead of chasing every possible activity. Every week is a campaign, not chaos. The second one is visibility discipline. I love this one, it's super powerful. First, let's clarify what discipline is not. Let's see. Mm, I once mentored someone with huge potential, a strong network, loyal clients, a solid reputation, but her business moved according to her mood. So imagine that. If she felt motivated, she stopped. If she felt tired, she stepped back. If she had a family event, everything was paused. Her income remained unstable. Her progress stalled. She wanted freedom, yes, but she operated in a way that guaranteed she would never reach it. Are you agree? This is what discipline is not. A system that depends on how you feel today. That doesn't work. Now, let's define discipline um, the elite warrior way. Jocko Willink breaks a powerful myth. People think elite military leaders win by barking others. But in combat, he said, he didn't have to say a word. Why? Because his team didn't wait to be told what to do. Every person was a leader. When your team leads themselves, you don't have to look down and in to fix chaos. You can look up and out, scanning for opportunities, threats, and the next strategic move, right? That's power. That's what elite leadership creates: clarity, autonomy, and synchronized execution. In a firefight, for example, one person lays down cover fire so the other can move. If one executes and the other doesn't, the entire team fails. That's what real discipline looks like. Not pressure, not shouting, but aligned action, clear roles, and everyone being accountable for the mission. Now, let's talk about the elite warrior definition of discipline. In an elite warrior's world, discipline is not negotiable. Non negotiable behavior driven by mission, not mood. It is the ability to execute the essential precisely, repeatedly, and under any conditions. It means delivering the required action at the required standard every single time, my friends, independent of emotion. It creates predictability under chaos, stability under pressure, and trust inside the unit. That is power. Can you see that? Discipline is the force that removes randomness and replaces it with patterns that win. That's simple. Now, we will get into how high performing multi level marketing leaders deploy it with precision. They show up, not to impress, but to establish rhythm. Their presence in person or online isn't random, it's a calibration signal to their team. This is what consistency looks like. That is the message. Visibility in this business isn't vanity, it's trust. When your team sees you showing up with clarity, structure, and the same voice every day, they align to the pattern. People don't follow energy, they follow stability. And stability, my friends, is not accidental. is engineered through disciplined repetition. In high performing units, yes, this is how leaders transmit confidence, not by talking louder, but by showing up with the same standard, always, the same tone, the same mission focus every single day. This is the discipline that elite units live by, not intensity, but reliability. It's the discipline that creates a team where presence isn't dependent on one leader. Everyone carries the standard, everyone shows up, and the mission moves because the system moves. Signal leadership. Words matter. The way you speak about your business shapes how others see it. Top multi-level marketing leaders don't use desperate language. They speak from certainty, not chase. They never sound like they are convincing. They sound like they are inviting others into a proven system. That's why tone is tactical. Every message, every caption, every short reel you post is either building your brand's authority or diluting it. You don't need to sound motivational. You need to sound inevitable. The next one, information curation. Every piece of content you share with your audience or your team trains them. If you are sharing noise, you are training confusion. Great leaders curate information like strategists. They filter what their team consumes. They understand that attention is currency, and whoever directs attention directs culture. You cannot expect clarity from a team that's constantly scrolling between contradictions. Simplify their environment. Make your group chats feel like command centers, not marketplaces. Now, let's talk about the last one and the most important, psychological replication. This is the secret weapon. This is the habit that separates followers from builders and builders from leaders. Duplication doesn't start with behavior. Duplication begins with how you think, not what you do. It starts with the internal operating system that your team absorbs from you. When your team sees how you evaluate a problem before reacting, how you stay consistent when they would collapse, how you separate emotion from execution, how you choose strategy over urgency, how you think long term when they want a shortcut. They start upgrading their own mental framework. That's powerful, right? This is the real duplication. Because the truth is this. Most people don't fail in multi-level marketing because of the plan or the product. They fail because their mindset collapses under pressure. Mood-driven effort, emotion-based decisions, zero rhythm, zero internal leadership. Psychological replication fixes this. Imagine if instead your team could see a leader handle growth calmly, prioritize decision without panic, and stay consistent no matter what life throws at you. Your team could start thinking the same way. They couldn't just copy actions. They could start learning and leading themselves. That's psychological replication. It requires your team's thinking from I work when I feel like it. Two, I work because the mission demands it. I show up for motivation. Two, I show up for rent. From I wait for my leader to I stabilize myself. From I respond to I anticipate. Copy this, my friends. This is where the true momentum is born. Because once your team starts thinking like that, calm, strategic, stable, rhythmic, you no longer lead a group. You lead a system that corrects itself, a system that multiplies without drama, a system that makes money because its psychology is built for endurance, not emotion. That, my friends, copy this, is the rare skill most leaders never teach. And it's exactly how high performing multi level marketing entrepreneurs break. the ceiling. You are not building sellers. You are shaping a strategist. And strategists are what turn a good network into a living, self-correcting system. These habits, my friends, aren't glamorous. They are nuanced, but they are the ones that build legacy. The truth is, leadership in multi-level marketing isn't about charisma anymore. It's about architecture. The ones who win now are those who design behavior. They don't just motivate, they engineer. So, you have been feeling like your business is stagnating. Maybe you don't need another tool or another incentive. Maybe you need to rebuild your operating system, your daily rhythm, your leadership code, your clarity loop. Because duplication doesn't start with your team, it starts with your habits. Got it? Now, copy this, my friends. That's what separates elite leaders from everyone else. Not protection, precision, not limits, leverage. A framework for entrepreneurs who want to build teams that duplicate by design, not by accident. The same principles that make the boundaries reset experience work, reign, clarity, structure, and mindset, are exactly what top multi-level marketing leaders use to scale Raymond. When your team sees consistency, precision, and disciplined execution, they don't just follow your steps, they start thinking like leaders themselves. And that's a win, my friend. So, your strategic business reset begins when you decide to lead with architecture, not adrenaline. The architecture that turns duplication into a system, mindset into momentum, and individual effort into real income. Income that compounds, my friend. Copy that. Curious how this actually plays out in a business that moves fast, scales cleanly, and generates results? Ask me about Raymond. See how high performing leaders structure their teams, replicate strategically, and create the kind of growth most entrepreneurs only dream of. Well, my friends, mission accomplished. Thank you so much for tuning into your past for a better you, your special forces unit for breakthrough living. Until next mission, stay sharp, stay grounded, and lead with clarity, strength, and honor. See you in the arena.